Bhakti Yoga by Swami Vivekananda. In explaining this aphorism, the commentator Ramanuja says, this doubt being raised whether among the powers of the liberated souls is included that unique power of the Supreme One, that is, of creation, etc., of the universe, and even the lordship of all, or whether without that the glory of the liberated consists only in the direct perception of the Supreme One, we get as an argument the following. It is reasonable that the liberated get the lordship of the universe, because the scriptures say he attains to extreme sameness with the Supreme One and all his desires are realized. Now, extreme sameness and realization of all desires cannot be attained without the unique power of the Supreme Lord, namely that of governing the universe. Therefore, to attain the realization of all desires and the extreme sameness with the Supreme, we must all admit that the liberated get the power of ruling the whole universe. To get this, we reply that the liberated get all the powers except that of ruling the universe. Ruling the universe is guiding the form and the life and the desires of all the sentient and the non-sentient beings. Liberated ones, from whom all that reveals his true nature has been removed, only enjoy the unobstructed perception of Brahman, but do not possess the power of ruling the universe. This is proved from the scripture text, from whom all these things are born, by whom all that are born live, unto whom they departing return. I ask about it. That is Brahman. If this quality of ruling the universe be a quality common even to the liberated, then this text would not apply as a definition of Brahma, defining him through his rulership of the universe. The uncommon attributes alone define a thing. Therefore, in texts like my beloved boy, alone in the beginning there existed the one without a second, that saw and felt, I will give birth to the many, that projected heat. Brahman indeed alone existed in the beginning, that one evolved, that projected a blessed form, the Khatra. All these gods are Khatras: Varuna, Soma, Rudra, Parjana, Yama, Mrityu, Ishana. Atma indeed existed alone in the beginning. Nothing else vibrated. He thought of projecting the world. He projected the world after. Alone Narayana existed, neither Brahma nor Ishana, nor the Deva Prithvi, nor the stars, no water, no fire, no Soma, nor the sun. He did not take pleasure alone. He, after his meditation, had one daughter, the 10 organs, etc., and in others, as who living in the earth is separate from the earth, who living in the Atma, etc. That is, the Shrutis speak of the Supreme One as the subject of the work of ruling the universe, nor in these descriptions of the ruling of the universe is there any position for the liberated soul. Why which such a soul may have the ruling of the universe ascribed to it? In explaining the next sutra, Ramanuja says, if you say it is not so, because there are direct texts in the Vedas in evidence to the contrary. These texts refer to the glory of the liberated in the spheres of the subordinate deities. This also is an solution of the difficulty, although the system of Ramanuja admits the unity of the total. Within the totality of existence there are, according to him, eternal differences. Therefore, for all practical purposes, this system also being dualistic, it is always easy for Ramanuja to keep the distinction between the personal soul and the personal God very clear. We shall now try to understand what the great representative of the Advaita school has to say on the point. We shall see how the Advaita system maintains all the hopes and aspirations of the dualist intact, and at the same time propounds its own solution of the problem in consonance with the high density of divine humanity. Those who aspire to retain the individual mind even after liberation and to remain distinct will have ample opportunity of realizing their aspirations and enjoy the blessing of the qualified Brahman. These are they who have been spoken of in the Bhagavad Purana. Thus, O king, such are the glorious qualities of the Lord, that the sages whose only pleasure is in the self, and from whom all fetters have fallen off. Even they love the omnipresent with the love that is for love's sake. They are they who are spoken of by the Shankyas are getting merged in the nature and the cycle, so that after attaining perfection, they may come out in that next as lords of world systems, but none of these ever becomes equal to God Ishwara. Those who attain to that state where there is neither creation nor created nor creator, where there is neither knower nor knowable nor knowledge, where there is neither I nor thou nor he, where there is neither subject nor object nor relation, there who is seen by whom. Such persons have gone beyond everything to where words cannot go nor mind, gone to that which the truth is declares, not this nor this. But for those who cannot or will not reach this state, there will inevitably remain the triune vision of the one and differentiated Brahman as nature, soul, and the interpenetrating sustainer of both Ishwara. So, when Prahlada forgot himself, he found neither the universe nor its cause. All was to him uninfinite, undifferentiated by name and form. But as soon as he remembered that he was Prahlada, there was a universe before him, and with it the Lord of the universe, the repository of an infinite number of blessed qualities. So it was with the blessed gopis. So long as they had lost sense of their own personal identity and individuality, they were all Krishnas. And they then began again to think of him as the one to be worshipped. They were gopis again, and immediately unto them appeared Krishna with a smile on his lotus face, clad in yellow robes and having garlands on, the embodied conqueror and beauty of the god of love. Bhagavata Purana.